Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Coffee Conversations from Metal Coffee Shop. My name is Heidi Ellsworth, and we are so excited to have you all here today to talk about the leading event in metal construction, and that is MetalCon. It is an event I've been going to for many years, and we are excited just to talk about it and what it can do for you and your business, and really bringing you to that next level of construction, especially in a time when you can use every advantage that you can get. So I want to say thank you so much, and huge thank you to the Metal Roofing Alliance as our sponsor of all of our Metal Coffee Shop coffee conversations in 2025. What an amazing organization, really advocating for metal roofing and bringing the residential metal roofing community together. So thank you so much, MRA. And we have Renee Ramey here today, so we'll talk to her more in just a second. So first of all, a little bit of housekeeping. I want to remind everybody that this is being recorded, and we are going to have this available on demand within 24 to 48 hours. Please share it out. This is the kind of information that you can use to not only get ready to attend MetalCon, but if you need to, show it to some of your folks in your company, to other companies, and encourage them to attend also. This will have all the information that you need. So let's get started. I am so excited. This panel is just amazing, and I'm so happy to have Renee Ramey here today. Renee, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being a sponsor of these coffee conversations.
Of course, wouldn't miss it.
I love it. Well, could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about MRA?
I've executive director of the Metal Roofing Alliance. I've been in the industry for over 25 years, and MRA exists to educate and promote metal roofing to homeowners with the goal of driving market share up for metal roofing. So that's what we're doing.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I'm excited to talk about MRA's involvement with MetalCon because you guys do so much. And another return guest who I'm always excited to see, Leanne Slattery, Leanne with ATAS. Leanne, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thanks. Glad to be here.
It is so much fun. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about ATAS?
Sure. I am the sales support manager with ATAS International, a family-owned company, third generation involved now, and they've been around since 1963. So I've been with the company for 19 years, and I'm also the current vice chair of the Metal Construction Association, who partners with the MetalCon show.
And tell us just a little bit about MCA and Metal Construction Association.
Well, the Metal Construction Association exists primarily for the commercial side of building design and construction, just to promote the use of metal, which I think we've all seen has grown year after year, and I don't think it's going to be slowing down. So members, a lot of members are manufacturers, but they're also fabricators, contractors, suppliers, a wide variety of everyone that has something to do with the metal construction industry.
And we are proud members. We love being a part of MCA, and we all the initiatives, everything you do, as we are also members of MRA. You guys are the best. So thank you so much for everything you do for the industry. And then I would love to introduce Judy Geller. I am so excited to have you on, Judy. I know you've been on before. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do with MetalCon and a little bit about MetalCon?
Sure. I'm the Vice President of Trade Shows for PSMJ Resources, and we are the partners with, as Leanne described, the Metal Construction Association. And I'm lucky enough to lead the team that brings MetalCon to life.
And you do it.
We do it.
Fun. I'm so excited to talk about everything we're going to talk about today. So thank you so much for being here, Judy, and for everything you do.
Absolutely.
And I am very excited to introduce Kaylin Burke. Kaylin, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I know, and I love it. Kaylin is usually on the other side. She hosts and runs all the MetalCon lives, which we just did yesterday. But now I'm so excited to have you as a guest. Can you introduce yourself and tell us about what you do with MetalCon?
Of course, happy to. So I'm Kaylin. I run and manage all of the education and registration, some of the additional on-site experiences you'll have at MetalCon this year and the past 4.5 years. I've been with MetalCon for 5 years and really excited to see what we can do this year and next.
I love it. I love it. It is so much fun. Well, thank you, ladies. We're going to get into talking about MetalCon 2025. It is so exciting. I do want to first remind everybody that the chat is open and this is a conversation. So be sure to ask questions, send comments, let us know where you're from, what you're doing. Just, a few emojis here and there, whatever you want. We are excited to have that engagement. And I do want to say hello to Alana. She's already been in the chat this morning. And although she can't make MetalCon, she's excited to hear about everything that's happening. So this is your place. You're in the right spot. We also have Karen Edwards on there. So good morning, everybody.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Karen. So let's get started. I'm going to show some pictures as we talk, just because there's so many great pictures of MetalCon, but I really want to start with what it is. What is MetalCon and what is its history? How did it come about? So Judy, can you lead us off on that?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So, MetalCon has, we were just calculating this, it has now a 34-year legacy of innovation in metal construction. So next year, we're going to have to plan the 35th anniversary bash in Orlando. But really, since its launch in 1991, it's been the only global event that's truly dedicated exclusively to the use of metal in construction and design. So what began as a niche industry gathering has evolved into a must-attend annual event for architects, builders, contractors, manufacturers, owners, developers, engineers, anybody who is shaping the built environment. So really, for the past 30 years, it's become the go-to platform to discover the cutting-edge products, getting hands-on training, earning CEU credits, building powerful industry connections. And year after year, we've really worked hard to push the boundaries and show what can really be possible with metal.
And it's so cool when you go in there and you see all these metal machines, you see all these metal profiles. There's just so many different parts of it that so many different areas that people aren't really aware of. And it all comes together in this one show. Leanne, you are, as a board member, vice chair of MCA. Talk a little bit about the history of MCA and your partnership with MetalCon.
Yeah, the MetalCon, I should have probably done my homework, but I know they've been partners for a very long time. I personally have been attending the show for about 20 years, and I know the partnership has been there for at least that long. Judy might have the actual the number there, but yeah, it's something that even before I joined ATAS, I was going to MetalCon. So it's one of my favorite events of the year, and really just one that kind of sets itself apart because it really just focuses on metal.
Yeah,
Judy?
it definitely predates you and I, Leanne, but I don't know the number, but I know how to get the number, so I'm going to find out.
Well, and it's funny is that I've been in the industry 30 years now, a little bit longer than that. So starting in 1993, and I remember MetalCon and also attending throughout I couldn't even tell you how many times I've attended, but it's been probably close to what Leanne's done.
Yeah.
So it is just such a great show. And I'd kind of like to talk a little bit about why it stands apart from other shows. And Renee, you and I see each other at a lot of different shows. You are so involved across the industry. What sets MetalCon apart and really makes it a must-attend type of show?
Well, I think Judy hit the nail on the head on one aspect of it, and that it's the only show that's focused exclusively on metal construction products. And so if you're interested in metal or currently doing construction products or installs of metal construction products, it's just a great place to go to learn more about what's out there, what's coming, the networking aspect of things, the educational aspect of things. You know, a lot of people might think our industry doesn't move very quickly, but I would argue in some areas it does. And so I think MetalCon's a great place to go and get caught up on what's happening in the industry and what's new.
You know, I've seen the exact same thing. I've experienced that when you go there, the things that you can learn from whether you're a sheet metal shop, you have a sheet metal shop that you are producing, or if you are an installer, or if you're a distributor, industry manufacturer, of course, it just seems like there's something for everyone. But one of the things I really love is when contractors, because you know we love our contractors, but when contractors can walk in there and they can talk to manufacturers of metal, they can talk to machinery, they can talk to accessories, they can really get the full view, and then they can go to all of these great events, training events that are there. And so, Kaylin, I think I would love it if you could kind of let's do an overview of some of that training and education that's offered that's really one of a kind.
I'm so happy you asked that question. MetalCon has really put a focus on providing top-notch, best-in-industry education across multiple different genres. Are you a contractor? Fantastic. We have Florida contractor credits that we offer across the show. We're going to be offering more than 15 courses that will be FLCILB approved this year in multiple different categories. So if you need those, we're a one-stop shop for you. If you are an architect, we offer architect continuing education courses as well. It's really fantastic. One of those courses that I'd love to highlight here is Renee Ramey, and the MRA is doing a fantastic panel this year talking specifically about case studies specifically on how to grow your metal roofing business. She's got a fantastic panel of contractors that will be presenting with her and sharing their own personal insights, how they're navigating the current waters, and what they are doing to better their businesses and help them grow as things change and shift as we move forward throughout the years.
You know, yeah, and I want to say that that's really where contractors can hear from contractors, which is really important, Renee, to bring that up if you wanted to say something about your what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do believe that people are a little more in tune and open to absorbing what is shared by peers than someone outside of, you know, what they're doing, telling them what they should be doing. And so we've found success in having some of our MRA partners or members show up and just walk through their story. Like, you know, what did we do? What challenges did we hit? What did we do to overcome them? You know, what resources are out there beyond, even beyond MRA, but within MRA as well, that, you know, we can use to grow your business for you or help you get into the business. And I mean, all of us on the call here understand that labor is an issue within our industry as well as many others. But I think the more we can bring people into a comfort level with, you know what, yeah, I can add metal to my list of products I'm installing, or I can dive into a business of installing metal roofing and be successful after listening to these other, you know, some of them business owners, some of them just working for contracting companies, but nonetheless people who have done it and have found their way to success. So that's what we're going after.
Yeah, I think that's so important, and that's really kind of Kaylin. I'm sorry, I keep going because I didn't mean that, but I was like, I love this contractor, the peer groups.
Agreed. And we are all for the peer groups. We have a few other sessions that are also being presented by contractors. And then we also have some business industry consultants coming in. We're going to talk and address directly, Renee, what you were saying about the issues regarding employment and the issues regarding hiring good help and people that really are members of this industry. So we have like building high performance teams and leadership and strategies for growth. It's going to be presented by Melissa Chapman, CEO of the Glow Group. We have a few other really fantastic consultants coming in. We're going to have B2B sales and strategies for the business-minded individuals. It's really, when it comes to contractors and what they can learn, it's unlimited. Whatever you are focused on as a contractor, we've got something for you. Whether you're talking about resiliency or you really want to focus on fire resistance, wildfire preparation, we have a fantastic kickoff that's going to address that. And it's from two individuals that run a design build. So they are contractors, but they're also architects. And they work in California. They're strategically addressing the current issue of wildfires in their region, and they designed and developed these fantastic products that strictly eliminate the problems that are arising out there. So it's really, whatever you want, we got it.
Well, and the thing is that is so great is that it doesn't, if you're an architect, if you're a contractor, if you're a little bit of both, manufacturer, distributor, really there are classes and education for everyone. And one of the things that I love on the educational side of it is the metal mastery clinics. And Leanne, this is MCA puts this on. They were so cool last year. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's the great thing with the MCA too, is that our members are very passionate about the industry and realize that MetalCon is our biggest annual platform to help spread the word and to educate, especially the contractors, on how they can add metal to their business. And this year, just a few of the topics that are going to be covered during the Metal Mastery clinics include standing seam metal panels, which is, of course, what everybody thinks of when they think of metal roofing, even though there's so much more than just standing seam. It's going to cover some stone-coated metal panels. A lot of those are shingles or tiles, whether they're stone-coated or not. Those are options. They've got best practices in portable roll forming. They're going to have a clinic on retrofit systems. And something new this year is soldering techniques for architectural copper that's going to be very exciting. Copper is a beautiful metal for roofing, as well as wall panels. We don't see it too often. A lot of times it's just because of budgetary reasons, but when the budget allows, it makes for a beautiful metal roof.
And I have to, I'm sorry, I just have to giggle a little bit because here we all are going, oh, we are so excited about soldering and copper, that, but it is, those are the kind of things that draw people in. You get to actually see it. You get to see the demos. I think that's one of the unique things. We're going to talk a little bit more about that here in a minute, on hands-on, right? Being able to see hands-on, which makes such a difference. I want to remind everybody the chat is open. So if you have questions as we're going along here, or if you're hearing some things that you're like, well, I want to know more about that class. I am going to say Melissa Chapman, very involved with the coffee shops, a great speaker. So be sure, I wanted to just, Kaylin, I know you said she's going to be speaking there on leadership. Really, really good. Okay, Judy, a couple of years ago, and it's maybe even a little bit more than a couple of years ago, but I was there and I remember, and I'm sure Leanne and Renee do too, that MetalCon really kind of took the trade show world, and shook it up a little bit and said, we're going to do everything on the show floor. Everything on the show floor. Because before, and today, a lot of shows you go to, people are leaving to go to classes or leaving the show floor. And really, MetalCon is about a total experience, and it's all in one place. So you can get keynote speakers to education to booths to I don't know live podcasts by Metal Coffee Shop, all kinds of things right on the show floor. So talk to us a little bit about that total experience and how that works.
Yeah, we really want every attendee to be able to maximize their time at MetalCon as best they possibly can. So with very, very few exceptions, and I think that the only exceptions would be the early morning in-depth workshops that we offer before the floor opens for those early birds who really want to roll up their sleeves and attend some of those really in-depth half-day programs that we've got going on. Almost everything else is in the exhibit hall. So we have 3 learning centers where our education takes place. So whether it's, installation techniques or business practices or how to grow your business, or this year we've added master classes to the roster. All the education is in the exhibit hall. So you can spend a lot of time perusing the 250 plus exhibitors on the floor, and then you can rest your feet for a bit and take in some of the education. And then some of the other great things we have on the floor is you can stop by, as Leanne mentioned, the metal mastery clinics. You can also go see John Sheridan and his team over at the Sherwin-Williams sponsored training zone. You showed some pictures of it before. It's one of the busiest areas on the floor. It is hands-on training. You have a question, you want to learn a technique, you want to see how to do something. You look for those guys in the yellow t-shirts and they're going to show you how to get it done and what the right tool is to use. We also have speed networking on the show floor. We have some really fun surprises on the show floor this year. I don't want to give too much away, but to Heidi's point, our goal is to make it easy for you to get all the education, meet with all the exhibitors you can, network like crazy, have a whole ton of fun, and leave feeling really accomplished and good about your MetalCon experience.
I just think that is so cool. And I loved it when it first happened. I've loved it ever since. It's really unique to MetalCon, and I think keeps everybody together. I see some nods. Renee, kind of, and in being so involved with MetalCon over the years, how is this all in one place, all on the show floor? How does that kind of really make it special and unique? And also, really the ROI in your investment of attending a show, because you get to see so much more.
Yeah, well, I think anytime you keep people all gathered in one area, you increase the opportunity for the networking, for the I mean, you're preventing people from getting sidetracked and leaving early to go do something different. You're having them walk by the various trainings and classes and whatnot, which draws them in. So yeah, I mean, I could list a number of things that I think are benefits of keeping everybody and everything in one spot. But it certainly, I mean, at the top of all that is it's so much easier for those that attend to walk through into the conference area and there you are. It's not trying to hunt down a room or figure out, yeah, where you need to be. It's all there.
And you get everything. So when you register, you're going to get the whole 9 yards. And Kaylin, you were going to talk a little bit about that, just how that pass works for, and we're going to talk about this later on, but we're actually giving away some free passes. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so anytime you purchase a ticket to attend MetalCon, you get everything that's featured on the show floor. Everything that's featured on the show floor is everything that we offer. You get all your education, you have your keynotes, you have all your special things that are going on. You have a returning favorite, the Oktoberfests. All of that is all featured on that show floor. So by purchasing that one ticket, you get access to everything. I'd also love to mention that we offer something called a value pass. And the MetalCon value pass is kind of, it takes that total experience and levels it up by about 10 times. So the value pass is where you can get 2 workshops in addition to your standard registration. And those 2 workshops are 4-hour courses. So you get 2 of those that are highly, highly in-depth. They talk about really important things. Most of them are certificate courses. We have low slope detailing. That's one of our certificate courses. The Metal Construction Association is presenting one, the metal roof installation training course. That's a part 1 and part 2. They offer a certificate with theirs. So on top of getting all that standard education on the show floor, you can really dig down to the nitty-gritty on what you want to learn about, whether that's the back office situations, whether it's the back office, understanding crediting and how can you approach crediting efficiently and effectively, which I think everyone in the world of contracting is always looking to understand a little better. That's one of our courses. It's a 4-hour workshop. So, if you're planning on attending MetalCon or have already registered for MetalCon, take a look at some of the workshops we offer and see if there's a way that you might be interested in getting that value pass and leveling up your education and experience. The value pass is also pretty heavily discounted compared to just purchasing those workshops outright. So highly recommend getting a little bit more of a discount on there for you.
And Thea Dudley is doing that class, who she is renowned on collections and back office and how to put those things. So that the 4 hours there is worth it, right? If you are interested. And right now, with everything that's going on, that's more important than ever for every business out there.
Agreed.
Yeah. Wow. Leanne, when you kind of look, I mean, when we think about all the things that are out there on that show floor that are so cool, what are some of your favorite things as you walk in and kind of as you're going through this total experience?
Gosh, when I first started ATAS 19 years ago, I came from another manufacturer that made metal, they weren't metal, made an architectural wall panel system. So I used to sell against metal. So once I joined ATAS, I wanted to learn as much as I could. So I tell you what, as soon as all the educational sessions were announced, I was making my plan, checking off. I had every day scheduled, every time slot. I was gonna suck as much information as I could out of this show. And I've done that ever since, because every year it's not always the same education sessions. They're always switching things up. And I kind of wanted to chime in earlier, from an exhibitor's point of view. Yes, we want to keep people on the show floor. We want them to come by our booth. That's the reason that we're there. But also, we do send a lot of our sales staff to MetalCon. So when they're not working the booth and helping us there, they're tasked with going out and attending some of these education sessions, on the show floor, sitting in, learning as much as they can. So not only from an attendee's point of view, the education is great, also from the exhibitor's point of view.
Yeah, I think it's so important. And it is the exhibitors, you can really kind of start asking some of those questions. So when you combine that with what you just learned, it's some educational classes, and then you come back out and talk to the exhibitors and say, hey, how do you align with this or not with that? I think it gives you this opportunity to have that full understanding and education, which is Leanne, that's so you. I love that. Your whole list. And yeah.
And one other thing with the favorites, I've really enjoyed seeing the show include more sessions geared towards women in construction and metal construction and the young professionals or the future leaders, trying to get them more engaged. Even before the show opens on the first day, this year will be the first Metal and Mimosas event, which has been great. I really am excited every year to see what's going on, with that. It's a group of women that get together. All the men can join us too, but it's usually mostly women, and we have breakfast, and we have usually a dynamic speaker. And this year, her name escapes me, NCCER.
Lauren Wilkerson.
Yes, Wilkerson.
There you go.
Yep.
So yeah, to really talk about, getting the younger people involved in the trades and all of that. So that's something, again, going back to the labor shortage part of it. We just need to engage those young people earlier and have them discover the different career opportunities that there are in metal construction.
It's funny that because I was excited to bring up Metal and Mimosas too, because it really, I think, goes to show how progressive MetalCon is in that it's open to ideas. I can remember sitting in an MCA meeting, and you and Renee Chandler was there.
Yeah.
We were all like, we need to do this. And I said, okay, let's all just chip in money and let's just do it. And let's find a speaker and let's have it. And that started 3 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Our
now
first one.
This is, I think, our third year doing it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not stopping.
No.
We're not stopping.
It's
Like
huge.
our
I mean,
mimosas.
so many women. Yeah, the mimosas are
Right.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A great way to kick off the day. And More than anything, though, is just the networking during that event and meeting other women that are in our industry and getting to know them and exchanging information and staying in touch with them after that.
Right. And then seeing them on the show floor.
Yes.
That's the part I love, is that you meet, you make new friends, and then you see them on the show floor, or they come by your booth, or you're talking, and that kind of camaraderie, I think, just makes the show even more alive as you go. And those kind of events are really what does stir. I mean, education is important. Exhibitors, getting all your information, of course, we want to talk to everybody out there, is so important. But the things that are done for young people, to bring more people into the industry and to give back is really, really kind of the cherry on top of the frosting and top of the whipped cream. So Judy, talk a little bit. Let's get to it. Let's talk about the what you're doing new this year with the barn dominium.
The giant barn dominium in the room.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to bring up that screen, that show everybody. Okay.
So, yes, this has really been quite an undertaking that we have taken on. MetalCon has always been, since way before my time, it has always been an event with give back. We've always had a cause. This year we have two. We always support Semper Fi, America's Fund, when we're in Las Vegas, and we will continue to do that. But this year we are also working to support the Warriors Support Foundation, and we are doing that by working with them to build a barn dominium. So what that means is that on site at MetalCon, we are going to, with the manufacturing support of Scottsdale Construction, who is manufacturing a 2,500 square foot steel frame for a barn dominium that is going to be on the show floor at MetalCon. You are going to see this live at the show. We are going to be, completing this barn dominium build after the show. So once MetalCon is completed, the frame is going to be disassembled and it is going to be moved to the most gorgeous spot. You can see it. If you go to metalcon.com/Barndo, you can see the area in Hall, Montana, near this famous trout fishing lake, that this barn dominium is going to be completed. There is a button on the website, on that page I just mentioned, to donate materials, services, or funds to help us complete this barn dominium. But this is our massive give back project for 2025. We do have a lot of manufacturers who are going to be supporting us on this, and we'll be announcing who they are very, very soon. We'll be sharing their samples and announcing what they're going to be doing live at MetalCon as we're showing the frame. So this is just the beginning of the story of the barn dominium. So please support us. Come to the show, check this thing out. I can tell you that this steel frame weighs 7,512 pounds, and you can even see a 3D model of it on that metalcon.com Barndo page. So check it out. We're excited about it.
So tell us, Judy, tell everybody, how did this get started? How did this come about?
So years and years ago, my predecessor, Claire Kilcoyne, so many people will remember, built a house on the floor with Habitat for Humanity. And it's always kind of, been in the back of our mind that we'd love to do it again. Times have certainly changed. And, just like through the way that things have evolved, we have found the opportunity to work with the Warriors Support Foundation. What was really amazing about working with them is, first of all, MetalCon supports veterans. It's always one of our most favorite, important causes, now more than ever. I think we all know that. And what the Warrior Support Foundation focuses on is building homes and providing vehicles for wounded warriors and Gold Star families. So this is their jam. And they have property and they work with other supporters, Bank of America. So this was really a match made in heaven for us to, to work with them. And once we had an opportunity to work with them, it was a matter of poking around to see who might want to build the frame. And Scottsdale stepped up and without missing a beat said, we're going to do it. And this frame is being manufactured now as we speak. So this is really unbelievable. And we're so grateful to them. They're also going to be providing the labor to assemble and disassemble the frame. We all know in construction, it takes a village. And believe me, when I tell you, we have a village and the village is growing, by the day. So that's how it started. And then we are working with, our friends, John Sheridan is advising me along with Mike Palmer from Evergreen. The Expo Group, our longtime show general service contractor, are making as many of their services available to us, heavily discount or for free as they possibly can. Let's not forget the Barn Dominium Company, our dear friends, Oliver Bell and Stacy Lynn. They designed this amazing barn dominium. They're from military families themselves. So when I tell you, it's a village, you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes here to bring it together. But we do need more support financially, and watch the website as we ask for more materials as we continue to fill out the building envelope.
If you want to be involved, just let us know. We can get you to Judy. Go to MetalCon, go to the website. You can see it. We'll have all that at the end. But I do want to say too, again, when we talk about the networking power of MetalCon, I remember, Judy, walking up to you and Stacy and Oliver on the floor last year as you were talking about this and saying, let's do this. Why don't we do this? And so that's to me, that's just so powerful because it can happen right there on bringing people together and really doing something that's going to benefit our veterans so much. And it's going to be so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also Stacy was our speaker at Metal and Mimosas last year.
She was.
Yes.
That's right.
She's also one of our influencers on Metal Coffee Shop. She's just an amazing lady.
Yes.
But yeah, I think when we get to sit and watch this happen, that's just going to bring such excitement to the floor.
I couldn't agree more. It's certainly, in all my years of producing a trade show, I have never taken on anything like this before.
Well, but a couple years ago, I think you said that about the training zone and with John Sheridan, because we brought that happened at an MCA meeting also, where we said we need to have more training. So I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit about that. The training zone is, so I know you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but the training zone is so powerful because again, people can walk in and start installing metal roofs or siding right there on the show floor and learn from the best in the industry, John Sheridan.
Yeah, and he brings the A team along with him. And I think that this kind of adds, full circle to your question about what makes MetalCon unique. And we know that there are a lot of industry events, a lot of construction events that are out there, that are, emailing you and asking you, come to our show, come to our show. But really, if you're watching what's going on, with the climate and the need to build smart and build better, metal is so important. And at MetalCon, it's metal that takes center stage. So this is why bringing in John Sheridan and his team and having hands-on training, even whether you're new to metal or whether you're experienced, you always are learning. The tools change, the products change, the innovations change. So and MetalCon, it is where you get to discover all of these changes in the industry and learn what's new. So yes, and we are, I mentioned it before, but we could not produce the training zone without the support of Sherwin-Williams and Metalview.
I was going to say, Sherwin-Williams and MetalView have been a sponsor from the very beginning. Renee, you were kind of nodding about the training hands-on. I mean, that goes right into steep slope residential roofing. What do you see with all these different opportunities for people to get their hands on metal?
Oh yeah, I mean, again, as we've said, there's an endless opportunity. I think that particular section was so innovative, and I'm so proud to be part of an industry that even thinks to bring hands-on at that level of detail and individualism onto the show floor. I think that's a game changer. I think again, there's this myth out there that the MRA is constantly battling against within the installation contractor kind of labor community, that metal's very difficult and metal's so hard and it takes so long to install. And those are all myths. And I think that particular area on the show floor just dispels those left and right, because once you get comfortable with the tools and you get comfortable with the product, and there's all kinds of various training programs out there, whether on the show floor, but certainly outside the show floor as well, that will help you get comfortable with a particular product that you want to install. I mean, there are so many resources, but I think that's great for MetalCon to offer that hands-on is astounding.
Yeah. And there are women trainers. So I love that.
Oh,
My
yeah.
dear friend Michelle Kettering is a trainer. There's a number of ladies in there who are training. So it really becomes inclusive. Anybody feels like they can walk up and get involved and try it and see what's going on. So because we are seeing a number of contractors from other industries, whether that be other types of roofing, other types of siding, even other types of building, who are coming to this show to find out how they can add metal to their offerings.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Now's the time.
Now's the time, and you want to do it. So, okay. We have a couple other things here that are happening that I want to talk about. One is a new event that we had last year, and Caitlin, maybe you can address this, or and I don't see Leanne. We may have lost her off here, but the speed networking from last year. What a great success! And what is that and why?
Absolutely. So the speed networking is a fantastic event that was introduced last year, and it was really a fantastic way to help break that awkwardness barrier that a lot of us feel when you're at a show. You don't know a lot of people, you don't know a lot of other industry faces. Maybe you're new, maybe you've never come to a MetalCon before, and you just don't know. So that speed networking was really created to help break that barrier and really make those one-on-one contacts and help assist in that way. Really just kind of bring everyone together in that intimate one-on-one, slower setting. Judy, I'm sure you can expand on that much more than I can at this point.
Yeah, no, I think Kaylin, you covered it really, really well. Honestly, people want to connect. It is one of the main reasons why people go to trade shows and come to MetalCon. It is a high energy, quick way to meet people. We introduced it last year. It was highly popular. You can learn more about it on our website. Of course, everything's on our website. Go under show highlights. You'll see the networking events there. It's not necessary to sign up for it, but we ask, you too, just so that we know how many we can set up for. And check it out. It's really fun.
We just had this from Alana. The speed networking is a great idea. It is, and it is so much fun. And actually, yeah, Karen Edwards and Leanne were the hosts of Speed. Oh, there's Leanne. Yay! We were just talking about your the networking, speed networking, Leanne, and how great that went last year.
Yeah, sorry, I had technical difficulties here, but yeah, that was I think it was kind of geared towards the future leaders or young professionals, where we were trying to get them to become more comfortable with networking, especially in a room full of people that you don't know. I think the little bingo exercise we did was pretty cool. It kind of forced them to go meet other people and to find out who they were to help fill out their bingo card.
Yep. Yeah, it was so fun. And speaking of future leaders, you're doing Kaylin, you have another event, and it's kind of, we have speed networking, but you also have an event just for future leaders, right?
Yeah. So what's really fun about this show is on your badge, if you are a future leader who's an individual under the age of 40, you're going to have a little logo on your badge. It's a circle that says that you're a future leader. That gives you automatic access to the Future Leaders Happy Hour. That's going to go on Wednesday afternoon/evening. It's going to take place from 4 p.m. until 5 p.m. We're going to have beer. We're going to have some light snacks. It's just a really fun time to even expand upon your experience in that speed networking from Tuesday and bleed that right on into the Thursday networking event and happy hour. So you can expand on those connections you've already made and relax a little bit. It's the end of day 2. You can chill out, grab a beer, have some fun, chill out and chat with some people.
And it takes
I don't
place in
think
an
I'm gonna
area
have
called the backyard.
Yes.
It's in an area called the backyard, which is we launched last year, which is really fun. So it's set up like a backyard. It's got Adirondack chairs, lawn games, kick back, have a beer. Fun.
People want to do that. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to have the 40 logo, the future leaders logo on my under 40, but
You
we
and
watch
me
it from the
both.
outside. But for those who are over 40, we do have the welcome party, which is open to everybody. But I love the fact that we're doing networking for that next generation and letting them kind of network with each other. I just think that is so powerful. And the welcome party is pretty fun too. And this is all still on the show floor.
Everything's on the show floor.
I know.
Yeah.
So cool. I know. That's what's so cool. Well, one of the things that I wanted to also bring up before we're going to get to the keynote, because I think that's really important. But one of the other things that you have the backyard in the back, and then you have the deck, which is where all of the MetalCon folks are, with all of in places to sit down and kick back up front. And Metal Coffee Shop is going to have a live sound stage right next to the deck, and this will be the first year we're doing this. I am super excited about this, and we are going to be broadcasting, live streaming the entire MetalCon show. The stage is going to be hosted by Karen Edwards, who's on here, and Karen and I will both be taking turns, but Karen's going to be doing a lot of that, and we're going to be bringing people up and interviewing them and streaming out on YouTube the entire time, and we love this. It brings kind of out people who can't attend. We're always like, it's okay. You can watch it here on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And
Really
yeah.
fun.
And Judy, thank you so much for getting us up there and to be able to do this. So I think it's gonna work out great. So let's talk a little bit about some of the keynotes, because that's a big deal. And so we kind of left them for last. Whoop whoop. So Judy, who are they?
Yeah. So we have 2 keynotes this year. So one of them is sort of aligned with this warrior support project, the Barn Dominium we have going on this year. And this is really going to be amazing. Our first kickoff keynote is going to be Clint Romashaw. Clint is a retired U.S. Army Staff Sergeant and a Medal of Honor recipient. He received that Medal of Honor from past President Obama. And Clint is going to talk about lessons in leadership and resilience. He, you may remember, had a New York Times best-selling book called Red Platoon, A True Story of American Valor. And there was also a Netflix series about his story called Medal of Honor. His story is based on his experience during the Afghan War, during one of the most harrowing 14-hour battles called the Battles of Kamdesh. And Clint is just amazing. And he is going to talk to us about, how are you resilient when, you just don't know where to go next? How are you a leader, in a situation that just feels, like despair? So in any case, he's going to be riveting, and I can't wait to hear him speak. He also happens to be the recipient of one of the houses donated by the Warrior Support Foundation. So we're excited to welcome Clint to MetalCon. And then the other keynote is a little bit more business focused, but very important. And that is Alex Chizovsky. Alex is the Director of Analytics and Consulting at the Bundy Group. And he is going to talk about the economic and labor market update, what to expect in 2025. He's going to talk about the industry. He's going to talk about tariffs. He's going to talk about inflation. He's going to kind of help us understand what the heck is going on and how to make sense of it. And the way that we came about connecting with Alex is he spoke at the Metal Construction Association winter meeting, and I heard him. I was sitting there, and I probably had like 6 or 7 people say to me, Judy, you got to get this guy for MetalCon. He's amazing. He speaks in a language that we understand. I mean, it was like a no-brainer that we reached out to him and secured him right away. So you're not going to want to miss either of these keynotes.
Such great, and again, on the show floor, you go to the keynotes, they're right there. It's so powerful. Judy, while we've got this slide up here, why don't you go through, I know Kaylin talked about a lot of this, but just kind of go through some of the highlights that we've pulled up here of what people should be looking at to attend.
Yeah. Okay, so I would say plan your time because there is really a lot to do. You're going to want to start your mornings pretty early. You're going to need to decide if you want to take one of those pre-exhibit hall workshops that Kaylin mentioned. Their certificate programs. You can look at that Value Pass registration. We also have these kickoff sessions, again, before the floor opens. And those sessions are, about breaking the cycle of wildfire destruction. I mean, this is going to be an amazing session in itself. I think the next day we have a kickoff session that is going to be the speaker is a longtime employee from Frank Gehry's architectural firm. So 2 amazing kickoff sessions. The keynotes I just went through, you're not going to want to miss those. Go on our website, plan your education, look at what's going on the show floor. here's what's popping out at me right here. Well, obviously, Renee talked about how to grow your metal roofing business, those case studies. You're going to want to pay attention to that. And then Brian Partica. So when you see Brian Partica, that means MCA. He's going to be talking about the value of metal in extreme weather zones. That's important. The MCA is also doing an industry update, which I think is going to be a very important session as well. So this is just the Wednesday session.
Yeah.
I,
There, there's
I
so
gotta
much.
tell ya,
I know.
there is so much. I mean, there is just a stellar program. You really have to take a look at what we have going on. Plan your time. Also, take a look at our exhibitors. And when you register, you get a confirmation letter that invites you to set up your profile, which means you can plan and connect with exhibitors before the show. So look at who you want to meet with. Look at who's on the, look at the exhibitors you want to connect with. Plan your time. There's an awful lot going on, and we're going to keep you very, very busy.
Yeah, and one of the things, and I just wanted to kind of a quick round here, but one of the things I always say is, if whether you're an exhibitor, attendee, whatever, the more you do, and I'm going to say this to exhibitors, the more you're involved with networking, the more you're involved with the classes, like Leanne said, the more you're doing those kind of things, the more you're going to have a great thing. So just one nugget, I'm going to ask each of you to give one nugget to everyone listening on what they should do to get ready for MetalCon. So let's start, Leanne, let's start with you.
Well, again, just to get ready for MetalCon, I think it's already been said as far as planning, because there's just so much to do there. And if you know ahead of time, and the MetalCon website is fantastic for listing all the different education opportunities and all of that. In the past, I would actually, old school, I would print that out and take my highlighter and say, okay, I want to go to that, I want to go to that, I want to go to that. And of course, then there's some that are happening at the same time, so you have to pick and choose. But there's not for lack of having any sessions that aren't interesting or applicable to what you do. So planning, planning, planning.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Kaylin?
So to build on what Leanne said, first things first is you are going to be seeing our show preview coming out in the Metal Construction magazine. So keep your eyes out. That's coming out soon. We're in final proofing stages. So Leanne, we might not have to print out everything, but it's going to be printed for you already on magazine quality paper. Doesn't rip as easy. And then the other thing I will say is get your business cards printed. With all the networking going on, make sure you got your business cards ready to go. I can't tell you how many people have emailed me saying, I saw this one person at this one booth with this one shirt. Who is it? I didn't have business cards. Like, just think about that and getting those things ready in advance.
I love it. Great advice. Renee?
I would say there's definitely the pre-planning. I like that, but I guess where my mind goes is go into the event not scheduling out yourself so much that you can't utilize the impromptus. And I guess where I'm going with that is one of the things I get the most value out of at MetalCon almost every year when I sit back and reflect is those impromptu conversations, those bumping into people you've not seen in a while, meeting new people that you've never met before, more innovative thoughts and future thinking on what I'm doing with MRA, what MRA is doing in support of the industry, come out of those impromptu minutes. So just don't overbook yourself. Attend all the classes. I'm not saying don't nail all that, but certainly don't go in, hit the class you want to go to and leave. Like, spend the time on the floor interacting with the people that are there, because the wealth of knowledge that's there is amazing, and you will find some great, as you call them, nuggets to take home of things you should consider or start doing. So that would be my thought.
Great advice. Great advice. Judy, bring us home.
Yeah, so everybody's done such a good job, really covering, the key things. So my tip is also kind of a myth buster. So what I would say is if you haven't come to MetalCon before, this is really a great year to come. And I encourage you to come and tell us what you think about it and draw your own conclusions. Because the Mythbusters side of my tip is that for many, many years, less so as we have, evolved, um, I always heard, oh, MetalCon's a machine show. Oh, MetalCon's a roofing show. Oh, MetalCon is this, MetalCon is that. Well, MetalCon is actually the world of metal. You've heard of World of Concrete? Well, this is World of Metal. I want to say that we have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 75 or more product categories. I mean, the machines do get a lot of attention just because they're big and they're loud, but there is so much on the show floor. There are tools. There is like every aspect of metal construction that you could possibly be looking for. I mean, right down to like doors and insulation and fasteners and you name it. And if you want more information about the categories of MetalCon, email us at info@metalcon.com. So I guess my tip is come and draw your own conclusions and then come by the deck where the show management hangs out and talk to us about it and tell us what we're missing and tell us what you loved and give us your feedback.
I love it. And then stop by the Metal Coffee Shop booth, sponsored by Sherwin-Williams, to get a podcast and get on air. We want to talk to you. Hey, check out these QR codes. One is for $30 off when you register today. The other one is our contest. We're giving away 10 total experience passes on Metal Coffee Shop, again, sponsored by Sherwin-Williams and MetalCon. So you can get that. We're working on that right now. Ladies, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for everything. And thank you to the MRA for sponsoring these great coffee conversations. Thank you all.
Thank you, MRA. Thank you,
Thank
Heidi.
you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And thank you all. We will be back with another Coffee Conversations next week on Roofer's Coffee Shop, and Metal Coffee Shop will have you back next quarter. So stay tuned. Don't miss a single conversation. Have a great week and we'll see you soon. Thanks.